Thank you so much for joining me on the Danni Vee Show today. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired and empowered. My goal is always to bring you elegant insights with a bold impact.
Welcome back to the Danni Vee Show. Today, I want to dive into a particular kind of frustration that high-performing leaders are rarely talking about. It's not failure. It's not chaos. It's not the things that are falling apart. It's actually when everything is working and you still feel stuck. The business is steady. You're respected. You've grown. You've built capability. On paper, it makes no sense for you to feel frustrated. And yet something in you knows you've hit a ceiling. I know that feeling so intimately. For years in my business, I hovered at the same income level. I would push, I would plan, refine, invest, show up. Clients were getting results. I was working so hard. I was absolutely capable of more. But no matter how strategic I tried to be, I kept circling the same number. How frustrating, right? And for a long time, I blamed all the external factors. It was the market. Nobody can see me. It's my visibility. It's the timing. It's the algorithm. It's the pricing structure. Until I had to sit with a much more uncomfortable truth, and that it was me. And it wasn't because I wasn't smart enough. It wasn't because I wasn't working hard enough, which I did keep on telling myself. It was actually because I hadn't expanded my identity to match the level I said I wanted to be at. That's a really hard thing to admit as a high performer. When you're capable, you assume the issue must be tactical. There must be some type of strategy, another plan, another qualification. Believe me, I don't even have enough time today to talk about the amount of qualifications I have. And sometimes that strategy just isn't the problem. Sometimes the ceiling is internal. I started noticing the small ways I was keeping myself safe. I would soften my positioning when things started gaining traction, so I'd hide and not let people know what I actually do. I would hesitate before raising my prices every single time, and I would question decisions the moment they felt bigger than I was used to. And this was never a conscious thing that I did. It was all my unconscious mind keeping me safe. So here's what I've learned working with leaders and business owners for more than 2 decades, and also just through my own experience of being a business owner and leader for over 27 years. Your nervous system is wired for familiarity, not expansion. So when growth means more visibility, more responsibility, more money, more scrutiny, your system doesn't automatically celebrate that. It actually asks, is this safe? If your internal identity hasn't caught up, you will unconsciously regulate yourself back to the level that feels familiar. And that is so frustrating. I've been there so many times, and I understand if you're going through that right now. Now, this is why high-performing leaders can feel stuck even when they are clearly capable. Your skills have evolved, your ambition has evolved, but your self-concept might still be operating from 3 years ago. And no one talks about that. We talk about hustle. We talk about resilience. We talk about confidence. We don't talk enough about the identity ceiling, the invisible line you won't cross because somewhere inside you're not fully convinced you belong at that next level. When I realized that I was the one maintaining my own income ceiling, it was both confronting and yet empowering. It was confronting because it removed the excuse of all those external factors. It wasn't anybody else's fault. It was mine. Empowering because it meant I could change it. I had to stop asking, what strategy am I missing? And start asking, who am I still being? Where was I still playing at the level that felt comfortable rather than aligned for my next level? That shift changed how I led. It changed how I priced, and it changed how I spoke about my work. It changed how I made decisions. And most importantly, it changed how I trusted myself, which was a huge shift within me. If you're a high-performing leader listening to this and feeling this familiar tension, the sense that you're circling rather than expanding, I want you to consider something. What if you're not stuck because you lack capability? What if you're stuck because your identity hasn't fully caught up with your own ambition? Growth at this level is not about doing more. It is actually about becoming someone who feels safe holding more income, visibility, responsibility, even more power that is grounded and true to who you truly are. This requires inner work that most people never see. The reason why I share this is because I have lived it. And I have watched so many capable women quietly question themselves when the issue was never competence. If this resonates, I encourage you to listen to the full episode again and really sit honestly with where you might be holding yourself back without realizing it. And if you know someone who looks like she has it all together, but keeps talking about how she feels stuck behind the scenes, send it to her. So often, the most powerful shift is not a new strategy. It's a new identity. Something is already within you and is ready to come out. I'll see you in the next episode. And remember, who you become determines what you build.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Danni Vee Show today. I hope you're leaving this episode feeling inspired and empowered. My goal is always to bring you elegant insights with a bold impact. If you enjoyed our conversation, I invite you to subscribe to the show and leave a quick review. Your feedback not only means the world to me, but it also helps other growth-minded leaders find this community. Remember, leadership is an inside-out journey. The poise, the passion, and the purpose we cultivate within ourselves are what transform the world around us. So until next time, stay true to your vision and keep leading with the unique mix of grace and strength. Stay radiant, stay resilient, and I'll be right here cheering you on. I can't wait to hang out with you again on the next episode of the Danni Vee Show.